1948. Well, about 20 years ago, somebody came to me and said, "Oh, are you that Smithies who wrote an article in Physiological Reviews in 1948? I said, "Well, yes, and as a matter of fact, I am that Smithies." He said, "Oh, I thought you were dead." But anyway, I am still alive. We'll go on with the story. But I've set my watch up here so I don't get too deep into my personal history. Okay. So I produced a thesis, and it was a method of measuring osmotic pressure. It's not too important what osmotic pressure is, and I was very proud of it because it was very accurate. It was so precise that in order to show my experimental point, I had to omit the theoretical one, and there's the actual data from my thesis. Everything is typed in those days, and in fact this is a carbon copy. There weren't even Xeroxes. That paper has a record, you know, and nobody ever quoted it. Nobody ever used the method again, and I never used the method again. So you can ask yourself, well, what was the purpose of it? And the answer is really rather important for all of you to think about. The answer is, that's how I learned to do good science. It didn't really matter what it was that I did. So, those of you who are working towards or studying for a PhD, remember this. The most important thing is that you learn to do good science. It's not terribly important what you do. And that means something else. It means that you should pick something that you enjoy. Because if you don't enjoy it and it's not important, it gets a bit negative, doesn't it? So make sure it's something you enjoy. And if you don't enjoy what you're doing, I don't mean every day, but I mean everyday enjoyment, you know, so that most of the time I enjoy doing what I'm doing. Go and talk to your advisor and ask your advisor to give you another problem, doing something that you like doing. And if your advisor can't do that, there is another remedy, and now I'm talking to the older people, change your advisor. And I'm really quite serious about that because it's very important in science, as it is in anything, that you enjoy doing what you're doing. I had a little game with some a meeting that I had to talk at, where there were a lot of retired people. And I asked them, I gave them 3 names, and the names were Picasso, Rex Harrison, and Wanda Landowska. Well, all of them knew who Picasso was, and most of them knew that Rex Harrison had been in My Fair Lady, but not many of them knew Wanda Landowska. She was a harpsichord player. And I said, well, what have these 3 people got in common? And the answer is, they were all over 80. They were all famous in what they'd done. They were all wealthy. They didn't need the money. And all of them were still working. So think about what that means. It means they were doing things that they loved. And that's what you should try to do in your science if you're in science. And if you find after a while that you don't enjoy science or you don't enjoy medicine, do something else. What you've learned is important in learning how to handle life and learning how to think. But you don't have to do it for the rest of your life if you don't like it. Oh, well, I did a little bit better with my postdoc because 4 people quoted this paper. but didn't produce anything very important. And in fact, the only important thing was, and even that was not published, was that I invented a method of automatic pipettes, and I was very proud of these automatic pipettes. There is a